Word on the street is that the girls need help with their wigs. And here I am. This is Wig 101, where we get down to the basics. We start from the beginning, we pick everything apart, and leave no stone unturned. If you do have any questions, comments, queries, concerns along the way, you know what to do. Go ahead and drop them in those comments. And I kind of want to treat this like a class. The first module is how to pick a wig, because the install or bleaching the knots, the melt, all that stuff really doesn't matter if you've bought a wacky wig. The first time I bought a lace wig was probably about just over 10 years ago, maybe a little longer, and that thing was a mess. But back then, we didn't have the information we have now. Like back then, Swiss lace was the creme de la creme. Like that was it. The problem with that though is that it's brown, like it's very brown. So unless it exactly, well, let me back up. It's brown, but some of them had a bit of a green or like a gray tinge to it. So even if it matched your skin tone, it didn't really match anybody's skin tone because it had that like gray green kind of like vibe to it. But yeah, we thought that we were on the breaking edge of hair technology, and then I started doing people's installs for them. Not good, a mess, kind of embarrassing actually. I'd love to go back to some of those people and kind of just try and redeem myself, but 2 thumbs down. My main prayer, wish and hope is really baseline that my girls can be freed from Swiss lace. Let's just take that off the table. We're taking that out of the equation. We're not doing Swiss lace. Yes, it's the cheapest, it's probably some of the most durable lace, but there's a reason for that. You know, there's a reason for that. In order of hierarchy, I would say Swiss lace, transparent lace, and of course, HD lace. She's the queen. Let's talk a little bit more about transparent lace. It's going to be almost white or very light in color. If you're installing a transparent lace wig, it's not gonna be glueless. You're gonna have to use makeup, lace tint, you know, you're gonna have to do a lot. Now, there are some people that are able to figure it out. I've done enough with it where I can figure it out, but it's still a lot of work. In terms of durability, yes, it is more durable than HD lace. Why? Because it's thicker. Thicker is gonna be more durable. So, transparent lace, it's cool, but like I said, you're just gonna need a lot more experience. And if I was to do transparent lace, I would never, ever do that with the frontal. Just never. HD lace, you know, we've said we love her. Because HD lace is thinner, you want that look, you just want it to blend seamlessly in with your skin, with your scalp. Yeah, it's not as durable, because when it comes to HD lace, we want it to be as thin as possible. Like, what's thick HD lace? I don't even know what that is. If you do have a wig that has an HD lace closure or frontal, you are gonna have to switch it out. Now, the frequency is going to depend on how often you wear that wig. If it's a daily wig, maybe, and you look after it, yeah, maybe 5 or 6 months. With it being so thin, it's kind of like a bra, right? You get a brand new bra, it fits, it might be a little tight, but after a while, it's going to loosen up. And then you're going to have to put it on the next clasp, and the next one, you're going to have to tighten the straps. It's a similar thing with a wig. It's going to stretch and, you know, kind of mold to your hair. That's nobody's fault. That's just wear and tear. That's just something to consider with HD lace. One of the best ways to tell if something is HD lace, especially if you're not able to put it on your skin, when I am speaking to vendors, the first thing I say is, hey, let me get a picture of that lace. All I really want to see is the lace cut like in a straight line across the front? Now, a lot of these wig companies, they'll say something is HD lace because they've figured out a way to make a thicker version of it. There's almost like a lace that exists out there that's a hybrid of transparent and HD lace. It's a little thicker than like real honest to goodness HD lace, but it has a little more of a color to it than transparent lace. A lot of the time, that is what they'll sell as HD lace. But if the edge of that is cut straight, it's not HD lace. You're looking for that frayed texture, Again, because it is so thin, when they cut it, it just kind of doesn't stay straight. At the end of the day, lace is just fabric. And we know every fabric has its own kind of behavior. It's no different for lace. Now let's talk about lace sizes. Starting from the smallest, teeniest little piece of lace I've ever seen, which is a 2x6. These are for very specific parts. Wherever it's put, that's where it's gonna stay. If it's created to be a side part, it's only ever gonna be a side part. Same goes for middle. It's not very versatile, but if you don't care about versatility, then it's perfect. Because in my opinion, if you're a beginner, the least amount of lace you have to worry about, the better. Next up, we have a 4x4. That was the go-to size back in the day because that's sort of all there was. It was either a 4x4 or a 13x4 frontal. But then we advanced and we got 5x5, we got 6x6, 7x7. That's the biggest closure size you're gonna see, because anything more than that, you may as well just get a frontal. So 4x4, that's outdated to me. 4x4 closures and Swiss lace kind of go hand in hand. I just see them that way. And just so there's no confusion, let's talk about what these numbers actually mean. If you have a 4x4 closure, they're saying it will go 4 inches from side to side and 4 inches from front to back. It's not a huge amount of closure space. If you don't mind that, that's fine, but we're going for realistic. And most of the time when I see people part their natural hair, it goes deeper than 4 inches. Then we get to 5x5. I was stuck on 5x5 closures for a really long time because you can get that versatility from it. If it's positioned in the right way, like slightly off center, you can get that middle part and the side part. It's not gonna be deep, but you can make it happen. I don't do 5x5s anymore because I discovered 6x6. To me, this is the perfect closure size because you get that depth. You can get a nice deep part on the side and you can get a middle part at the same time. It's not too much lace to deal with, but it's enough, especially if you're trying to learn and get better with lace. I think it's the perfect size. 7x7 is cool, but I think, like I said before, it's just kind of, it's big. Once you get in that territory, you may as well start looking at a frontal. Which brings me to frontal measurements. They are going to be 13x4 or 13x6. Again, in terms of versatility, if you're already wearing a frontal, you know how to look after it, then you might want some extra, freedom to do some styles. The way they make wigs is that the deepest part is gonna be right in the middle, but as you get to the sides, the parting space becomes smaller. So put that on a 13x4 and you're left with probably like 2 inches. Get the 13x6 if frontals are your thing. Frontals though are absolutely not for everybody. The person I think of wearing a frontal is someone that either has the kind of budget available to frequently get their hair done, or they know enough about hair to be able to keep it up. If you can't keep up a closure, you are certainly not going to be able to keep up a frontal. You can do a frontal if you go to the gym a lot, if you sweat a lot, but again, you're going to have to know how to keep it up. If you're a get up and go kind of girl, like you don't want to sleep with a wig on, you just want it on and off, then I would recommend a closure. But if you wanted something closer to a frontal, then yeah, get a bigger closure. Get that 6x6, get that 7x7, and you can have it all. Sun is kind of getting at me. Let's get into density. I had to learn this one the hard way. Just like lace, I had to learn it the real hard way. A while back, I was starting a wig line and I was looking for vendors who could make wigs kind of like customized with colors, cuts, all of that kind of stuff. I bought some sample wigs. I spent, oh my goodness, I probably spent about $600 or $700 on these sample wigs. And they came, and my God in heaven, those knots were so humongous. You could have seen them from space. One of them I was gonna use for a birthday shoot. And so I went to like the best hairstylist, wig installer in the city. She had me drop my wig off early, but when I got to my appointment, I saw that she didn't actually do anything to it. She was in there like trying to quickly bleach those knots. Now, when I dropped it off to her, I was like, yeah, the knots are a little big. As a stylist, you should know, okay, if they're a little big, I'm probably gonna have to take some extra time on them. While she was doing my braid down, wig cap, whatever, I guess she thought she could also bleach my knots during that time. When it came to the install, I was livid. The reason why they came out so big is because the wig I ordered was a 200 density wig. I got this 200 density wig thinking, yeah, like I want it thick, I want it luscious, not understanding that that's also gonna compromise the size of the knots. Didn't even consider it. I have found that 150 to 180 works perfectly fine. Curly textures, you can go 150 because the hair is so curly, it's not really gonna matter anyway. Not wavy though. I think like deep wave, loose wave, body wave, straight, you're gonna be looking at 180 for sure. Here's another thing, what some wig companies do is they'll take the first inch or so and they'll do super tiny knots. And then behind that will be, you know, those big massive knots. If you are bleaching those knots, that front inch or so is gonna bleach so much quicker. And then once you wash that out, you'll realize, oh man, like those big knots in the back, they are orange. And so you're gonna have to bleach again, but then it's a very hard job then to separate that, you know, that first inch of thin knots from that back part of thick knots. When it comes to getting the best quality wigs, there's absolutely nothing wrong with buying from wig companies with pre-made wigs, pre-colored. I do a lot of partnerships with those companies myself. I'm always very sure to either reject the wigs that I don't think are good quality, or if I go through with the partnership, I'm gonna be honest and I'll say things like, you know, this wig is gonna take a little more to blend. You'll wanna put makeup on this wig. You'll want to make sure you really melt this wig. But a lot of these companies will lie just to make a sale. Where I have found the best quality wigs is speaking with specific vendors. I'm speaking to one rep and I'm just asking this one person all the questions I need to have answered. At this point, I've spoken to probably hundreds of different wig vendors. Yep, some of them will lie. Yep, or you'll ask a question and they'll try and cover it up with something else. It doesn't matter. Just keep asking those questions. Don't stop until you get your answers, your pictures, your videos, your video call, whatever it is that makes you feel good about actually purchasing that wig. Oh, here is one thing. If you're in the process of buying the wig and you don't have it in hand, this one can be a little difficult, but when you get the wig and you put it on your head, if you cannot see your hair or your scalp through the lace, then it's too thick. And that's why we do bald caps, to get that scalp-like thing. We'll get to it. Next, we're gonna be looking at hair quality, and there are so many schools of thought when it comes to virgin hair, raw hair, the different grades of hair, Remy hair, single strand, double strand, single donor. That's also gonna affect the knots, how you bleach the knots, how they act, the hair itself when you color it. We're just getting started, not trying to overwhelm you, but thank you for joining me. We are gonna get this wig thing together. Stick with me, stay the course, and yeah, we'll get there. That's all for now. I'll see you next time.